piecewise functions. A piecewise function has multiple expressions, and for each expression, it has its own specific interval or own specific domain. So the example below is a function identified as f of x. The top row says that part of that function is a line, 2x minus 1, and that function only exists from negative infinity to 3. The other part of the function is x squared minus 5, and that graph starts at 3 and goes to positive infinity. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a table of values for each graph, for each function, each part of the function, and then put it on the graph. So we'll start with y equals 2x minus 1. Now, picking your table of values is the most important part here. If I look at the interval, this graph only exists from negative infinity up to 3. So I'm going to start at 3. Now notice at 3 we have an open or round parentheses, so open circle. So I'm going to put a little open circle next to my 3 to remind myself that when I go and graph, I need it to be an open circle on the graph. Then I'm going to plug 3 into my equation and simplify. So I get 6 minus 1, which is 5. Then the other x values I have to pick are lower than 3 because my interval is negative infinity up to 3. So I'm just going to pick numbers that are easy to multiply with. So as long as they're in the right interval, we're good. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the other graph. Y is equal to x squared minus 5. So I'm going to start at 3 because at 3 we have a square bracket. So I get 3 squared minus 5, which is 9 minus 5, which is 4. Then I need a number bigger than 3, so I'm going to pick 4. 4 squared minus 5 is 16 minus 5, which is 11. So we're getting kind of big here with the numbers, so I'm actually just going to stop. Two, negative 2, and negative 2. So I'm going to graph my first function. 3 and 5 is an open circle. 0 and negative 1 is a closed circle. Negative 1 and negative 3. And there's my line. Now I'm going to graph the other part, which is a piece of a quadratic. So 3, 4, closed circle. 4, 11, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, way up here. 4, I'm just going to line up my graph. Sorry, got a little messy there. Notice that I'm putting a little bit of a bend into it, and that's just because I see that it's a quadratic. And although I'm not doing the entire U shape, I want you, and when you do your problems for me, you want me to know that you understand that it's a quadratic and it has some sort of bend to it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now this is a function because it passes the vertical line test. If I was to do a vertical line anywhere, it would only cross the graph once, even at 3. So that's how we graph piecewise functions, and that's what we're going to be working on back in class.